or if anyone's paying attention to us.
Besides Sai. Here we go.
Let us know when you can see us or hear us.
Or both.
Ta-da-da!
Yeah.
I got a very important tweet.
Let's see. How did... That's weird. Okay. Podcast. There's the live stream. And let's see. Dooka. Yep. We're good. My ugly mug is on there. So.
It's not an ugly mug.
I know. Alright. Okay.
Hey, it's the Beard Patrol tonight.
I know,
Right?
exactly.
I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, wait.
You're fine. Alright, I have tweeted that out. Let me retweet it, and retweet it, and we're good. Alright, that goes away. I can't see the chat room. That's the problem. There we go. Alright. Alright. Everyone needs to stop playing with their microphone and hitting their microphone.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Oy vey.
I know. I'm sorry. It's just really loud in my ears for some reason. Alright. We are... Hey, there's Kenny. All
Where's
right.
Kenny?
In the chat room, apparently. Alright. That's good. That's good. Alright.
All
looks
right.
good. Here we go.
Are we ready to do this thing?
Yep. We are going in 5, 4, 3. On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
There's a new Forsaken in town.
Are you ready to talk like a pirate?
Is this where we do the captain's wife lament for the next hour?
No.
Dang it. Celebrations are in order.
The Shire is on sale.
And we have Marcus Annapolis to talk to us about AIE and SOTOR.
All that and more coming up right now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
Welcome to episode 305 of the podcast celebrating you, the Alia Iacta Est gaming community. The Die Has Been podcast. This is Tetsemi. To my left and upstairs is McCullough.
Hey guys, there's dark chocolate caramel brownies in the Guild Kitchen and lemon bars and snickerdoodles. And yeah, I've been busy.
Yeah, just a bit. Mew Cow is busy packing up a toddler and running after boxes. No, wait, reverse that. Reverse that, yeah. This week we're joined by special guests Marcus and Apollos, who are here to talk to us all about AIE in Star Wars The Old Republic. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us.
And for those who are not watching the broadcast, it's the Beard Patrol, guys. I feel like I need to put some yarn on my face or something to fit in with these handsome gentlemen.
You're good. All right. So let's start with Apollos. Apollos, what have you been up to in or out of game this week?
Last few weeks I've been going a lot to my main activity outside the game was work, but the gym, doing body pump 2 to 3 times a week, doing elliptical and losing weight and taking care of my health. It has been for a few months my main activity, and even last week I began some Zumba classes. So
oh, nice.
Congrats.
Yeah, I can dance badly now, but maybe in a few classes I should be okay. But it's
there you go.
It's crazy how Zumba can be 45 minutes where you can burn a lot of calories. That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think, for us geeks, once you start kind of looking at the calories and the equation of the in and out and how much you burn per activity, it kind of becomes a game.
Yes, a bit because I've got a Fitbit and I follow my activities on my phone, so it gives me on. It helps me keep myself on track, and it's been like a 2-year journey for now since I decided to begin to take care of myself, lose weight, because I'm doing a lot of exercise now, but I did not begin like that. I was doing the first few times 15 minutes of either treadmill or elliptical, then it grew up to 20 minutes, 40, and now I'm up to 45 minutes per shot.
Impressive.
Very cool.
3-4 times a week, or even 5. This week was 5 times.
That's great.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. And Marcus, what have you been up to in or out of game?
T-minus 4 weeks, 4 days. Baby boy is coming.
Oh my gosh.
I'm about 3 weeks from the finish of my kitchen remodel. My wife's losing her mind. But the Death Star carpet has made it to our boys' room, so that's a win. Yeah, she surprised me with it. I had no idea. So she's like, "Oh, there's a package here for you." And I was like, "It's a carpet. What, do I just need to open it for you?" She goes, "No, it's for you." She's like, "But it has to go up to the baby's room." And I said, "All right." So I carried it up the stairs and I cut it out, and it was spherical, like shaped. You could tell it was a circle. And I was like, "What is this?" And I opened it up, and it was the Death Star. And I was like, "Oh my God!"
So is Star Wars his nursery theme?
Yes.
Brilliant. Oh my gosh.
It was kind of non-negotiable when
jealous.
we found out we were having a boy.
Well, not that gender would make a difference, on that one, but yeah.
Well, she got to pick out for our daughter.
Okay.
So that was pink princesses and, Disney and Mickey Mouse and all that stuff. So
kind of like what Ted and I did when we got pregnant. I'm like, okay, you get to pick the boy's name, I get to pick the girl's name, and we'll go from there and see who wins.
That's
yes.
Right.
And, so it's a super exciting time for us. And I'm a finished carpenter, so I've just been working morning and night. I just told you guys as I got home minutes before this started, just trying to get everything done in my shop for my kitchen because all the parts aren't finished yet. But I'll get it done. And then in game, go ahead.
Yeah. So we've lived through a home remodel. However, neither of us are carpenters, so we didn't have that double challenge there. So
yeah, well, so I've done 6 weeks worth of work in 3 weeks. So I'm on schedule completely. Everybody that works with me has really stepped up to help us because they know the baby's coming, and I was just a crazy guy that wanted to get it done before the baby came.
Of course.
But in game, we're busy in SOTOR. Me personally, I run ops probably 4 out of the 7 nights a week. And then when I can do anything else, I do. Yesterday, I was actually on Cyrene and Zod's, I don't know if you call it a podcast or a vodcast on Twitch.
Videocast,
yeah. And we had a lot of fun. Got to know him. I never met Zod before because he's a WoW officer.
He's awesome.
Yeah,
both of them
awesome.
are really good people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I met Cyrene probably a month ago. So that's what's been going on with me.
Awesome.
Very cool. And McCullough, what have you been up to?
So July 2007, and actually we were in Vegas for Kenny and Elkarth's wedding. My buddy, we're in a gaming group together. My buddy said, "Hey, so I have this crazy idea. I want to do a mage game." So that was over a year ago, and we've made characters. We've been doing sessions with 1 player, 2 player, up to 3 players. And last night was the first night that we got the entire party together.
Oh, wow.
And it was hilarious because, my buddy Matt, he's a smack talker. And all week he's like, "I don't think you guys are going to be able to stay on task. I think you'll be infighting. I think you'll be doing this and that. In fact, I'll give you guys 5 extra experience points," which is a big thing in a World of Darkness game, "if you guys can actually get what I have done from start to finish and actually stay together as a group and not deviate and not get into it." Let's just say at the end of the night, all 5 of us got full XP. 10 XP to start with. It was great. It was actually really kind of cool to see, because 3 of us have been interacting. 2 of us have been interacting, and the other been acting against us half the time. And we knew of the other 2 characters, but our characters didn't. And we had an idea who these 2 were, but we hadn't met them in game yet. And it was neat. It was neat actually seeing all right, now we know what we're going to be doing the next few years in game.
Very cool.
So that's my big game news. Out of game, we got some new dice necklaces done because I found some really fabulous Q Workshop specialty dice. So Elven 10-siders and Elder Sign Depth 10-siders. So the little bit of craftsy stuff, not a bunch. I do need to still recover from the con I did a few weeks ago and get my stock back up to normal. And then I'm going on vacation in a day or 2 days with my mother and our best friend.
Yep.
So what have you had to, besides trying to keep me sane, what have you been doing in and out of game?
Mostly chasing a black cat around the house going, don't pee on that! No,
Yeah.
our cat has not been feeling well, but now he's better. But actually mostly been focused on WoW, with the new content they just released for Warfronts today. We've been in there, so I have my warrior ready to go for raid when we're ready to start raiding. I'm at I think I got my item level up to 342 today on him. I've done all of the Horde story, and I have my Alliance warrior at 120, and I've done all the Alliance story with the exception of 1 mythic to finish out Jaina's story and the Warfronts, which requires a rep grind. And sorry, I'm only rep grinding on 1 character right now. The rep will come, so I'll see the rest of the story on the Alliance side, the Warfront side of it, or the War campaign part of it. But other than that, we've just been gearing up and getting ready to raid, hopefully in the next few weeks, and enjoying the content in WoW right now. I know Destiny 2 just had a new content drop, and I've not poked my head in that just because of all the WoW stuff. And working a little bit on my Star Wars characters, but mostly WoW focused. So
Nice.
Has the new raid?
I have been up.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say is, did the raid drop yet? Does it come out with the expansion?
Yes.
Oh, it does.
No, it didn't come out with the expansion, but they just released normal and heroic mode on Tuesday of this week. LFR, the first wing, which is the first 3 bosses, will drop next Tuesday along with the mythic difficulty. So the quote-unquote race to world first for mythic starts this Tuesday. And then the rest of the LFR wings get released every 2 weeks from Tuesday. So you'll see them every 2 weeks until you see the whole story for those people that aren't in organized raids. So we're going to take our raid team and go farm up the Warfronts, because when you first do it, you get an item level 370 drop, which is a heroic gear level, and then you get item level 340, which is the LFR gear level, every time you win the Warfront. So we're going to run a bunch of those tonight and get everyone some sweet gear, so we're looking forward to that.
Please tell me you weren't saying that for an organized raid. When you said for those not in organized raids.
Oh, we're organized. It's just very chaotic. Come on.
Okay. I'm just saying. Not
Yeah.
organized.
All right. So with that, we will be digging into Star Wars and everything AIE in Star Wars shortly. But first, let's cover this week's news.
AIE News.
All right. In streaming and guild podcast news, speaking of Star Wars, SWTOR Escape Podcast number 256, Beyond 8 Bits, SEMA Max the Gray, and Astromech EPC 256, nice try Max, moved beyond 8 bits to the podcast episode numbering and complete the Sorcerer Chapter 3 story. And in Escape Podcast 257, Hit the Road, Map Jack, SEMA, Max the Gray, and Astromech 257 hit the roadmap. They'll drill into what was said in the roadmap and live stream, what wasn't said, and what their opinions and speculation is on the future, which I'm sure we'll get to in the Star Wars news after, or Star Wars discussion after the news. And in upcoming streams, Dan Kinya is streaming ESO's Mandatory Fun Nights at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Easterns on Friday nights.
And Nomads Destiny 2. There's a new expansion, Forsaken. It's live. Raising level cap to 50. Each class has 3 new subclasses, new zones, a new raid, a new coup activity, Gambit. Continuing story campaign in clan chat mode is now available. And if you're rejoining or want to invite to the clan, visit bugle.net/Ian. Wow. Sorry.
Okay.
Bungie.net/EN/can clan V2 group ID 2122972, or hit up the Discord to get that invite as well. And make sure that you do also hit up Discord and check out the Destiny 2 chat for settings for groups.
And in WoW news, Pirate Day War Mode event is coming on September 19th. Also, the annual Running of the Beef, Zandalar Forever, is coming up. This year, for Running of the Beef, we're doing trolls for the race. Everyone will need to create a new troll character of whatever class they wish on the Ravenholt US server. This time around, we're asking everyone to level to 10 before the event and log out in the starting area where you first poured into the game. The reason they want to do that is you have to be level 10 to join a raid group, and it's much easier to run around in a few raid groups than try and get everyone in 5-person groups and juggle those. Also, a reminder about the AIE raid teams and groups, specifically in WoW. With new raids starting to open and ongoing and new group content in many of our other games, we want to take an opportunity to update everyone on how group content teams work in AIE and what resources are available to help. And there is a nice blog post called Raid Teams and Groups up on the blog that gives you access to all our calendar and wiki and Facebook groups and all that.
What's Pirate Day War Mode? What's that event?
So they are going to turn on War Mode in WoW, which flags you for PvP. And then because it's Pirate Day is on the 19th, they're probably going to do something in and around Booty Bay. They may do something in and around Kulturos. I'm guessing there's probably going to be a Kulturos invasion since that is the Alliance side. So, yeah, just keep your eyes out on the forums or on the blog for that.
Cool.
Blog and Discord, random chat. You know, the normal. And in Eve news, BDO is buying Eve. Players are afraid of microtransactionist Wonderland. Corp is moving / regrouping again after last war push by the latest big bully. So overall, it's a regular day in Eve.
Hobo Wars are Hobo Wars. Yeah.
Did use.
Exactly. And in ESO, the Imperial City celebration is happening now and will run until Monday, September 17th at 10 a.m. Eastern. The Imperial City is a PvP zone with some PvE elements as well. During the event, you can earn double rewards such as Telvar stones, key fragments, and double the drops from bosses. Mandatory Fun Night takes place every Friday night starting at 9 p.m. Eastern and running for at least 2 hours. With the event happening, next Friday's Mandatory Fun Night might involve another attempt to explore the Imperial City for Sky Shards.
Huzzah! And in Lord of the Rings Online news, get 25% off through September 13th on these following items. Milestone skills, hurried traveler and returning traveler, skirmishes and instances, and rally horns. Coupon code Rejuvapot, REJUVEPOT, gets you rejuvenation potions, yes, ×5 now through September 13th. And upcoming in-game events, the season's Farmers Fair Festival is going on through September 10th. Tale of Shipwrecked Mariners is September 15th through 20th. You know why I'm laughing, right?
Yes.
Okay. Bilbo's birthday is, of course, September 20th through 26th. Be sure to coordinate on Discord if you'd like to enjoy these events with your fellow AIE kinship brothers and sisters.
And with all the news done, let's get back to Marcus and Apollos and find out what is going on with AIE in Star Wars The Old Republic.
And why do we have 3 pages of notes?
Blame the patch notes.
I'm blaming Marcus.
Yeah, I would blame me.
Yeah, he's the new guy, so he has to be blamed because it's always the new guy's fault. So
Right.
Well, so I guess in the guild portion, I'll start with, before we dive into this fall roadmap that sent the SOTOR community to big time smiles, or on my end, it was smiles. So we have been kicking butt in Conquest every week. You know, Apollos has taken the mandatory fun night and switched it up to a 1 week imp and 1 week pub side with a focus on the Conquest. So it's really brought the guild together in Conquest, and you know, we're hitting our large targets on one side, with the other side, you know, either getting small or medium. So that's been really awesome. Yeah, Apollos has done an awesome job of that. Our ops teams are really rocking as well. We have 4 of them going, so I think that's really going really well. What do you think, App?
Well, thank you for all the praises, but it's all a group effort. It's I've been working with all the officers and everything, and we have welcomed Marcus and Dent into the officer group now, and we are very happy about it to have those 2 guys join us with all the enthusiasm that they have and the devotion they have to the game. So it's really fun. I'm really happy about it, and we're really happy about it. And yes, we've been MFN has been more and more of a success. We always have enough people, or even too many people, for a 16 group raid. So we'll do a raid, and then we'll go do some rampages where we can be up to 24, have a full group. And it's working wonders, and not just on one side, but on both sides. With Marcus, he's been helping recruiting a lot of new people in the game, and all those people are helping out a lot also. And I have to give a shout out to B. Kavanaugh, that helps us with the Conquest. He did a wonderful spreadsheet where everything is explained, and B. Kavanaugh's and Sakic, they always give us advice on how to attack all the Conquest objective and everything, and it's truly appreciated by those guys. And
wonderful.
All the officers are really happy about that.
Definitely a cooperative task by all.
Yes, and involving everybody, a lot of people in that process makes it work, and we like to listen to the people we are playing with and saying, okay, what would you like to do, and what are we doing, things that are pleasing to you and everything, and are you having fun, because that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Also, too, you know, I want to thank everybody, all of the new members that have come and joined the guild, because it's really awesome when you see an influx of people join the guild, and then they're so happy to be there, and they're contributing to the mandatory fun nights and doing the Conquest, and just being, you know, fill-ins for even all the ops teams, you know, because real life happens on a raid night, and sometimes somebody has to miss, and the new members amongst the members that have been in have really stepped up and, you know, been filling in on the raid teams for us, which is super helpful, and I can't thank them enough. But I will say we got a roadmap. So we had the summer of PvP, and, you know, it was kind of all quiet at BioWare for a while, and then all of a sudden, boom, they give us a notice on one day that says, "Hey, we're going to do a live stream tomorrow," and within minutes of that, they drop the roadmap. And there's some really good stuff coming in, and you know, I want to dive into that a little bit.
Please do.
Okay. So, they talked about how the PvP has, they changed some things in the PvP and they've seen a lot of positive things. They gave us the Rishi Stronghold, which we had a mega event there that, we hosted our own PvP events, which we had a blast doing. Everybody killed Max, especially Seema killed Max.
Yeah.
And, but then they're saying with game update 5.10, which is always weird to me because, at 5.9, you think the next expansion comes after that.
It could be 6. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it's called Jedi Under Siege. It's basically starting the next story for the game, which we haven't seen any story all year since the end of the Traitor trilogy that came out at the end of the year. So that's a big deal. Go ahead.
Yeah, and also a figure from the past is coming back, Powerful Jedi, if I remember correctly, or something like that. It's not Revan, but my theory, I think Seema mentioned it, or Max mentioned it on the Escape podcast, the new Jedi that is coming back, well, the old Jedi, or maybe he's new, it's going to be our good friend Kefis. He's bound to be back. He has to be back. He was in Explosive Conflict. He was in Terror from Beyond, and then we never saw him again. Oh, no, he was in Dread Palace, Dread Fortress, so he has to come back. So
surprise, Kefis.
Yeah,
Surprise.
Kefis is a Jedi now. So
Yeah.
There you go.
let's do that.
Training.
He's not going to be the evil commando.
No. I think that's going to be Chase Malcolm, maybe? I don't know. No, he's dead, so I don't know who's going to be that evil commando. But what I do know is that there's going to be some returning companions. Doc is going to be back. Darkside Jason is going to be back for the Marauder class. I know somebody's going to appreciate the Marauder class.
Except it's the wrong side. It's except it's the dark side, which that's not the correct side.
No, it is. It is.
It is from a certain point. It is from a certain point of view.
Exactly. And to make Max real happy, they are also bringing back Nadia, and Max will be able to go, "Shut up, Nadia."
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to talk back to her or revisit the storyline to see what's the hang up about Nadia.
The biggest thing for me, and I guess it's kind of my favorite part, is they're doing a bunch of guild improvements to help guilds. I guess they're going to be doing some guild heraldry where you're going to be able to put a banner above your, we'll be able to create a banner. So when, somebody scrolls over me and they can inspect me, they can actually click on me and say, AIE podcast, AIE guild. And it kind of gives us a little bit of information for the guild. So maybe, because Max and Seema are such influencers with the community and everybody knows them, maybe in that you say, hey, Star Wars Escape podcast, Max and Seema, or you just leave the podcast there and they're like, oh my God, we listened to their podcast. I want to join their guild. And it might help us out a lot in that. Go ahead.
Very cool.
Oh, I'm uber excited about the whole guild thing in the community and bringing people together. That's I would say that's my favorite part of this guild and the game.
Well, yeah, honestly, that's, why play games unless you can play them with people that you like and care about.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
And they also mentioned that there's going to be a progression system that allows active guilds to kind of customize their experience the more they play. I don't really know what that means, but it sounds almost like it's going to be like a legacy for the guild.
Which would be interesting.
Right. Something that's kind of fun is going to be a PvP challenge system. And Brian from the Bad Feeling podcast, he called us out on his podcast on how once he does that, he wants to have a Bad Feeling podcast guild versus AIE in the Rishi Stronghold, which will be a great time.
Awesome. Yeah.
Anytime there's a challenge out there, we'll accept.
Love to make sure you guys let us know when that happens, because that sounds like a fun thing to get everyone involved in.
Absolutely. But other than that, they're basically just changing some things for the guild, like logging. I guess it's going to be more in depth and be able to track people a little bit better, which I guess could help. And they're giving us, more rank cap, but the more rank caps, I'm guessing, as a guild master, or now that I've never changed anybody's rank in the guild, so I don't know how much work it is, but from what I heard, it's kind of a pain.
Yeah, the guild interface in SWTOR is not it's not a good UI experience, and you kind of wonder if the people doing it have experience with large numbers of people in guilds, because having dealt with both guilds and both guilds interface, it's not fun to try and do stuff in either guild interface. I'm really interested with the heraldry and what they mean by the progression system, because is it going to be like, oh, we're a PvP guild, so they can focus their legacy or their heraldry on PvP challenges. We're a crafting guild or a conquest guild, so we're going to focus our stuff on that. That's what's going to be interesting to see. What's all in the progression system. That's what really interests me. Not that you need another reason to be in a guild, but it'll definitely make it interesting recruiting for people. That they look and go, oh, this is definitely a PvP oriented guild. Look at all the perks they have, or however they're going to do it.
Yeah, and I'd like to see like something like a guild tabard, because we don't have that in SWTOR.
That's right. We don't.
Yeah.
It's something like that, or something by your name is simple, or I don't.
A flare.
Yeah, but I think the flare would be hard to customize. But a guild tabard, that could be.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
And
easily identifiable.
Yes, and it could give you like in WoW, when you wear your tabard, you can give levels to the guild and everything. So and get perks, and you can buy some leveling gear and things like that. Because since the DVL event, there's no leveling gear that exists outside of that event. So people who have missed it won't have that 50% boost from that from that gear.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and also Dent is running Flashpoint Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a good success, and people are having fun on that event. And I know also. Oh, did you talk about your event, Marcus?
No, I did not.
Yeah, well,
I was hoping you were gonna.
No, it's your event. You've been proudly working on it, and you already did one or two previous event.
Three.
Jeez. And I'm missing them because I'm playing D&D often on Friday nights. But yeah, go ahead, talk about your next one, which will be interesting. I'll try to be there.
So we're doing Saturday, September 22nd. We're going to be doing fleet pod racing. You say, what's fleet pod racing? Well, you're going to have to come and find out. Basically, we're going to be racing around the fleet. And we came up with probably the greatest prize ever, which the hint is everybody's going to know you won the pod race. in the guild
Together
when
with
you sign in,
Marcus?
or whoever wins. I'm not gonna.
Hmm.
I'm gonna be judging to make sure that Apple's doesn't cut the corners to try
He
to. Yeah, he definitely.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey.
So it's 9 p.m. Eastern time, and let's
Oh, the
have some
real
fun.
time zone.
Yes, it is the real
Oh,
time.
whatever about your time zone.
So the only other thing that I really want to touch on is they're coming out because you guys are a D&D player and a serious WoW player. Is they're coming out with a new level, new gear level, and it's going to be crafted gear. Now that's all they've said, and it really is kind of intriguing to me because they're releasing I'm going to call it nightmare level Gods from the Machine. It was the
Right.
operation that they created last year. So they're coming out with the nightmare version of it, and there's going to be this new tier of gear. And I'm guessing the schematics to make the gear is going to come out of the nightmare version of it.
Mhm.
But I'm curious to see if they make the gear, like the schematics drop randomly in other things so that other people can earn that gear. I'm not really sure how it goes.
Yeah.
But speaking of nightmare, Tet, you mentioned heroic and this and that. Is heroic in WoW the story mode in SOTOR?
No. So the way it works is LFR is essentially the story mode. You can have up to 30 people. Well, it actually is 30 people in the LFR. And then you go from there to normal, which is 10 to 30, heroic 10 to 30, and then mythic, which is 20 only. So there's 4 levels of raid difficulty in WoW.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah,
sure
the hardest being mythic, and that's why they tune it specifically for 20 players. That's one thing I really, especially with our MFN nights and stuff in Star Wars, that's one thing I wish they'd do is come up with a way of doing a flex mode between 8 and 16 people for some of the lower difficulty operations, because that way you could, we've got 12 people, perfect. We don't have to sit 4 people, or we don't have to hope 4 more people show up. That would be nice, but I don't know how flexible their system is to be able to do that.
Yeah, they're very not flexible when it comes to that. Their group content is basically 4, 8, or 16. That's basically it. There's no in the middle. I mean, if you can 7-man some of them, you can 14-man to 16-man on some of them, but it's really tough.
Yeah.
But we're going to be getting sometime mid to late September, we're going to be getting the Fame and Fortune game update 5.9.3, where they're basically releasing a new Hutball map, and it has the coolest name ever. Appleus, do you know what the name is?
Let me see here. I forgot about. Jeez. It's the Vendin Hutball Warzone. 8 versus 8.
Yeah, so it's on the planet Vanden, which we've been there before through one of the levels, one of the chapters of Kotet, where there was a big heist of, I call them gold bars, but I don't know, whatever the Star Wars version of gold is.
The credits.
Yeah. And
that got transformed into powder, right?
Right. And yeah, I think they're calling it the Sky Shredder. That's the name of the Hutball map, which is anytime you hear the name Shredder, I just looked it up at. That's the only reason why I know. But, that's coming mid to late September, and then they're going to wrap up sometime in fall with the 5.10, which, they say sometime in fall. If I had to speculate, I'm going to be, I would say December. We're going to get it right before the actual calendar turns to winter, because they'll still say it was fall.
I was thinking the same thing, like on the 19th or 20th, because 21st is going to be winter. But we're going to get a surprise. It's going to be on at the beginning of November. I don't know. I'm hopeful. I'm a bit anxious or to have some new content for SWTOR. It's a lot of fun. We're bringing a lot of fun, but we are always redoing the same thing. But we're doing on our own fun in the game, and
Yeah, having to make your own content.
exactly.
Well, they did. Go ahead.
Yeah, and just to say, the 22nd is on a Saturday, so I'll be there. I play on Friday nights.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, between that and the other event, yeah, you're home free, Mr. Rolls Dice.
Yeah.
You know, I started playing a little D&D, and you know, it's so different because, you know, I'm trying to make my character, you know, not like me, but it's really hard because I always find myself coming back to me. I can't really hide it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, please tell me.
As a gamer, I always have like some piece of myself, and I'm in like 3 or 4 games. I have active games, so like either like they're really short, or they have green eyes, or they have some trait. Not always, and you know, and personality. Your real personality is always going to sneak in there somehow.
Yeah.
So I created a character, and he's a barbarian, and he always runs into the fight. So little did I know, when the first character I created, we were just walking through this village, and there was this. I don't want to say it was a puma, but it was like a cat. It wasn't a tiger, but it was a cat. I forget what he said it was. And I just charged in, and I was, you know, level 2, and one hit and I was dead.
Okay, yeah.
The dice gods were not in my favor. But something else that they did tell us is at Star Wars Celebration next April, there will be a BioWare Cantina event, which that is always great news for the game, because you hear that, and they're going to have a cantina, so you know that clearly something big is going to be released at Star Wars Celebration. So let the speculation begin.
And Star Wars Celebration is going to be in Chicago, and there might be a SWTOR officer there. So well, watch out.
Yeah. Well, Max will definitely be there, so you know, go to Chicago, see Max, and get in there.
I'm going to go to Chicago and see Max. I need a celebration for that.
Yeah, and Max is going to bring you to Luminalties for some deep dish pizza, and may visit with you all around in Chicago. So
I'm really looking forward to going, and I'm looking forward to the deep dish pizza.
Yeah, you're more of a poutine guy, so
yeah. Hey, I like it all. Maybe put the poutine on the pizza.
I like the Chicago thin, crispy crust, which is a rarity.
Yes.
Well, that's a New York pizza.
No, there's a Chicago thin crust. It's almost like matzah. It's so thin and crispy. It's really good.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
And then beyond 2018, they did say that we are going to get a new operation, and we're hoping to hear about the new 6.0 expansion coming.
Yeah, I hope they don't. It was nice to have new content by releasing a boss at a time, but also it was like, okay, we got this boss, now wait 2 months. Oh, there's another boss, wait 2 months. You know, it's like, no, just get the whole thing done and give us the whole thing at once. I think it's more interesting that way.
Okay,
yeah, it's not like Icewind Citadel, where you have like 20 arms to go through. So,
exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, if they want to do, you know, like 12 bosses and give you groups of 3, hey, you know, that's better than one at a time. Wait 2 months. That was a bit annoying.
And my mindset was they released the boss at a time when that Galactic Command ranks were in, you know, full-fledged form. So I actually kind of enjoyed the one boss at a time, and here's the reason why. It's because you got to go do the 1, 2, or 3 bosses, and then when you finish that, you would go do another op. So it was almost like double the CXP in one night of your ops team. So it helped progress your raid members. But I do see your point is you want to start something, you want to finish it. And by the time the last boss comes, you're sick of the first fight.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole thing. You're like, because, you know, it's like, it would be like in Star Wars having to do, or in, you know, in World of Warcraft, you did Ice Crown and then you got one, you know, you got like 1, 2, or 3 bosses, and then you had to go back and do the previous raid, and you know the one you'd been in for 6 months and grown sick of it. And I think that was the major issue, is you want something new to break up the monotony and everything that's going on. So I have a question for you, going back to the Jaisa and Nadia discussion. So, Marcus, what as a Star Wars player, do you do light side, dark side? Do you do both, depending on the character? How do you play your characters in SWTOR?
Light side. I have one that is like gray. That's directly in the middle, but I don't have a dark character at all. I can't do it. Every time, you know, somebody, you know, if you're playing the Sith Inquisitor class and, you know, they're going to lightning somebody, I just can't.
Right.
Like, no, just, you know, like, just send them home.
I think you need to play D&D. For D&D, then I think you need to make up a paladin. Just saying. I mean, I like light side too, but.
Yeah.
What's a paladin?
It's a holy warrior. They're usually, well, depends on how you do them, but they can usually be very, very goody-goody.
Very lawful.
Yeah. Traditionally.
All right. So Apollos, what about you?
I play a mix of both. Some are light side. The majority are light side, but a few of them are dark side. My Inquisitor, who shoots lightning, well, he's dark side. He's the worst one. And my Marauder is dark side, and he turned Jaisa evil, so he's gonna have Jaisa back when he does the content. So, and that
was. Go ahead.
I've got another. What's the other Juggernaut who has a light side Jaisa? So.
Right. Well, and I think that's the thing I really like about SWTOR is with the companions, you kind of set your own storyline, or you know, you get your own headcanon of this is how this character would react in there, and that's what I miss when they went to Coffee and Kotet and even Revan a little bit, was you kind of lost the you know, the different companions for the different classes, because you know, I really liked the original storyline with the original companions, how you got them, how you interacted with them. You know, I have one character that who's it, Skadge?
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
like
from the Bounty Hunter storyline.
Yeah, exactly. He stays in the ship and he never gets to leave, and you just hear him grumble the whole time. It's like that's his, you know. I don't, my character's like, no, you stay in the hold. That's where you belong. You're not going out. So I think he's still like level 1 influence in there because I never let him out. But the Jaisa storyline, I thought was very interesting. You know, in that you could do a dark side or a light side path with her and get stuff. McCullough, what did you do in Star Wars, or what do you typically do?
So I do tend to play the light side. I did start out with an Inquisitor, but it didn't. In fact, that was my character name, McCullough, and it just didn't quite feel right, because when it comes to Star Wars, I've always been like anti-imperial. You know, I have a Rebel Alliance tattoo. I became a geek because of seeing Star Wars at age 5. I wanted to be a TIE pilot. So for me, it kind of felt wrong. So when I have played, it has been, I did feel a lot more comfortable playing a Jedi, playing a consular, or I did play what was the more melee, less spelly that Shay
Marauder?
was?
Of the Jedi or
Jedi.
the
Yeah.
A Sentinel or
a Sentinel Marauder.
I think she was going to be a Sentinel. So very kind of playing it very, put in DD terms, lawful good. Always make.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I know,
you would
so hard. But like always like the most rigid choice, and so that was a
Right.
lot of fun. You know, it was the own headcanon and all that. So I do tend to go light side when it comes to my Star Wars.
Yeah. You say that, but interestingly, at the beginning of what you were saying, you said that you love Star Wars and that you wanted to be a TIE pilot.
I know.
I did
she
not
did
mean
say-
TIE, but I meant X-wing.
she
Wow.
meant- yeah.
I think. Wow. Yeah.
Freudian slip.
Freudian slip. Yeah. That's bizarre. I think I was
Um,
thinking of our friends in the 501st.
Yes.
Okay.
No,
But
because
it's
I remember you were trying to be the quote unquote goody with your Sentinel, and there were parts where like I really want to give the sarcastic answer here, but I can't. I'll give the good
Right.
answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's funny with the JSA storyline that when I turned my JSA evil to the dark side, and when I told people, a lot of people were like, "What? You can do that?"
You can what?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can actually do that. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to replay the story."
Yeah. And I think that's I think it's Smoke in our guild that he's gone through all of the classes, all of the specs, both dark side and light side, for all of them to see that. So yeah, if you do have any questions, don't hesitate to hit Smoke up. I'm sure he'll have the answer for that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely will.
So all right. Well, anything else that you guys wanted to mention?
I just have a question for McCullough.
Yes.
So a while back, you were talking about a D&D game you were playing, and you guys got sent back in time or somewhere, and you guys didn't remember who you were. What happened?
So we've been kind of slow getting back to it, but basically we all ended up rolling our characters at 0, and we eventually like all found our paths. None of us went to the same path. In fact, our holiest of, like our life cleric, she is now like a dark paladin of I can't remember the name of the goddess, but like a goddess of poison and death and decay. And yeah, and my old one warlock, who was chaotic and really kind of cracked, is now a follower of Saloon the Moon, and just very sweet and compassionate. And our follower of Gramash, the orc god, is now a cleric of the Forge, and our barbarian became a wizard, and our ranger became a rogue.
Whoa.
And we're starting to get like little glimpses of ourselves now. Like the barbarian is the barbarian now. Wizard is a dragonborn. So like he has this book of dragons, and he's starting to like reading about things that his character had done. And last game, my character is dozing off, and she looks up, and the moon turns into Cthulhu, and it says, "Do you think I forgot about you?" So we're starting to see like little pieces of ourselves, but we're still like these brand new little adventurers.
That's great. I've been
fun.
I've been dying to ask you that question for a while.
Yeah. No, it's a really, really good time. And if anyone ever kind of wants to follow those adventures, we actually do stream those games on the Geek and Geeklets network.
The next time you do, you'll have to send me the link.
I will, yeah. We're unfortunately, just because real life, it won't be till the end of the month most likely. But we run Friday nights, so I also roll dice on Friday Nightopolis, and it's 9 o'clock in your all time zone because they're all on the East Coast as well. So,
all right, cool. Well, thank you guys for joining us. I think that's going to be our show for tonight. while the chat room begins suggesting show titles, if we haven't driven them off. No, they're
No,
still
we
there.
actually, hi chat room. Thank you for still being here.
We want to thank Apples and Marcus for joining us. Thank you guys very much. This was fun, especially having Marcus on for the first time.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's nice to have you chatting and not just in the chat room.
Yeah,
Thank you guys for having us.
definitely.
Yeah, thank you.
And this week, Max is getting ready for trips and stuff like that, so there will not be a after show on the podcast stream, but definitely check back next week. He should be streaming again. And if we want to get a hold of you guys outside of game, Marcus, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
So you can find me on Twitter. I'm at MarcusB814. Or you can go to all of the podcast forums and check out our podcast, which is Working Class Nerds.
Yay!
Awesome. And Apollos, how do we get a hold of you?
Mostly it's going to be in Discord. Yeah, I do still have my Twitter handle at Ben in Montreal, BENINMTL. Yeah, and but I'm rarely on it. But if you send me a message, I will get an email and I'll check it out.
Awesome.
Okay. And with that, if you have questions or comments for our show, you can email us at thepodcast@aie-guild.org. You can follow us on Twitter. The show is at AIE Podcast. Mew is at The Mew Cow. I am at Cyberwave. And Tetsemi is at Ivory Tiger. We record live with video every other Sunday, approximately, at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can join the chat room and play with us along on our website, which is aie-guild.org, podcast-stream-live-stream. And our Discord server for chat is bit.ly/AIE Podcast Discord. And that is where our chat room happens. Our theme is composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, keyswithsoul.com.
And now it's time to play all of the great AIE member segments we received this week, including an alt-itis from Mewcow and Ask Buxley from Buxley, and it's good to have him back. Hunts the Wind is actually living up to his name and directing his crew to fly into hurricanes both on the East Coast and the West Coast. So Eastern Seaboard, if you are not prepared, please, get your groceries and prepare. And Hawaii, we wish you luck. So, all right. And next time we will have a surprise guest. Even for us, it's a surprise to us.
Hang on it.
All right. So until then, AIE, this is Tetsemi.
This is Makala.
And this has been the AIE Podcast. All right. Yay. All right. Like that show titled, The Fighter Pilots Have Better Benefits. Not wrong. It's not wrong.
No, they don't. Coffin jockeys. Coffin jockeys. They don't live.
It's a big corporation that has put money aside for all his workers and loyal employees.
Coffin jockeys. We've had this conversation. The lack of, yeah.
Yeah, and the Rebel Alliance, just a bunch of freelancers that have no coverage, or you're giving away your life just for nothing.
But they have better ships.
Yeah, if you can say that. Yeah,
Sybil.
The Queen.
Better ships.
Yeah.
With,
I like that symbol. I want to be a TIE pilot.
I can't believe I actually did that.
Oh yeah, and it's on video.
Right, a character that was potentially was trained as a TIE pilot and then got smart.
Well, I like Sybil title too, but it's just missing a little bit, maybe 2 words. I want to be a TIE pilot, says Michaela.
Nope.
Yeah, exactly.
How about the one where Final Fantasy XIV, Guild War Tools, and Star Trek Online go missing?
Look at tech got a little passive aggressive in it is. Hey, you guys didn't tell us.
Exactly. See, if I actually put that in there, Jaina, then it would be completely passive.
That would be aggressive at that point.
Exactly. Yeah. So, no.
Yeah, at that
All
point,
right.
it would actually go from passive aggressive to aggressive.
Exactly. Well, Marcus and Apollos, you guys are the guests. You get to pick the show title. So whatever one you guys like.
I'm gonna leave this one to Apollos. Apollos, I'm putting this heavy weight on your shoulders.
Oh, jeez. Well, I'll go with I want to be a TIE pilot.
Yeah, you kind of have to, don't you?
Yeah, Kama says Mikela.
Nope.
There you go. Title 2, McCullough. I want to be a TIE pilot. Perfect.
Open mouth and certain size 5.5.
Exactly. All right.
Well, awesome, guys. Thank you so much. I have to go raid.
Yeah, go
and
raid.
we all
go
have
raid.
to get as well too. So, thank you, chat room. I'm going to cut the stream. We will see you guys in 2 weeks.
See you
Bye,
guys.
chat
Thank
room.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.